is your girl Cordnie Ellese. Welcome to my channel on Mommyhood and Entrepreneurship. And today we're going to be talking about planning your life for your personal life and as a mommy. So the very first thing that you're going to do is you're going to pick out a word for the year. Last year my word was focus, so I really worked on making sure that I was focusing on only one or two things and that I was really just keeping consistent with just focusing on that certain thing and just not getting off. Last year I focused mainly on my Christianity, and I focused also on my photography and just building my photography business. Now that I've done good on focusing, I want to make sure that I'm being consistent in whatever that I'm focusing on. So not just doing it as a short-term something, not getting it good, and once it's good then I leave it alone. I want to make sure that I am actually consistently working towards something and that I'm always putting in a plan and putting systems in place so that even when I can't work on something, whatever I had in place doesn't just go to the drain and go to the gutter. It's actually able to keep running and keep functioning well. Now the next thing that you want to do is you want to add in birthdays, holidays, anniversaries, all of graduations, anything that's important to you. You want to make sure that you go on and add that into your calendar, and make sure that you're not just including you, your spouse, and your children. You want to include your parents, grandparents, your best friends' kids, your kids' best friends, anything that you all would consider an event that you would go to, whether it's most of the time or if it's all the time. If these are people who are important to you that you keep in contact with or that you desire to keep in contact with pretty often, make sure that you know their birthdays. And not all the time are you going to know birthday parties ahead of time, but generally Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays after the person's birthday is normally when people like to celebrate. So you can kind of guess that it's going to happen around then. And let's say you can't go to the birthday party, that's totally fine, because at least you'll know ahead of time and you can start planning a week or 2 weeks ahead to go in and get that item in the mail or get that item sent to you or Amazoned or whatever, so that you can make sure that they actually have their gift before their birthday. Now the reason you want to add in holidays into this is because you want to plan those holidays ahead of time. You want to plan the budget for those holidays, if you're doing any vacationing for those holidays, if you're giving gifts to other people outside of your home for the holidays, if your children want expensive gifts, or even just whatever has to do with those holidays. You want to make sure that you're very well prepared so you don't end up having to wait till the last minute, end up paying a lot more than you already would have because you didn't plan for that prior to, like you should have or like you could have. So for the next thing, you're going to add your child's school calendar into the mix. So then you can put in any holidays, of course, which we already discussed. You can add any days off, any parent-teacher conferences, spring breaks, fall breaks, then you know how long your winter break is. And then this helps you as far as your scheduling for your own business, as far as your scheduling for you and your kids and things that you all can do, as far as not getting caught off guard if you're going to need a babysitter, if you have to work a certain day and your child has off of school. Also, if you have any vacations that you want to schedule and anything with kids. Then the next thing you're going to do is you're going to add in your business calendar, add in your work calendar, your entrepreneurial calendar, your personal goals outside of your children's lives and your personal life, anything that has to do with business that you've already prior planned because you've watched my other video on planning out your year as a business professional. So with that video, we went all through how you could do that. So now that you finished that, you're going to add that calendar into this one and just make sure that they merge correctly. Some of the tips that are in that one are in this one and vice versa. So it shouldn't be so hard if you've already watched that video for you to put the two together. So the very next thing that you're going to add into your calendar are your vacations. These can be pre-planned vacations that you've already paid for, got the flights for, got the hotels for, that you've already saved up your money for, or these can be the planning the vacations that you hadn't quite yet paid for, vacations that you want to do but you're not quite sure about yet, you're still putting them in the works. So you want to go in and find the potential dates for those and at least start getting in that financial planning prior to, because you don't want to wait until a month or two and then end up spending about $1,000 to $1,500 more than what you had, or then get there and not be able to have the good time that you wanted to because you didn't accurately plan for the type of vacation that you really and actually probably needed at that time. And also, you don't want to be able to not do the vacation because you just didn't plan correctly. And make sure that when you're planning out those vacations that you include any conferences that are out of state, any business deals that are out of state, anything that you would be doing out of state business-wise, professionally, or if you have something that your spouse will be doing out of state, you want to know when you guys are going to be out of state. And I would say to go on and count that as a vacation, because even though you might not be going for fun necessarily, you still want to make sure that you're planning ahead so that when you go there, you're not struggling or spending a lot more money than you plan to when you get there. Now, after this, you want to add in your goals. You want to add in your weekly goals, your monthly goals, your quarterly goals, your yearly goals, okay? So you want to add in these goals, and these goals are your personal goals, your family goals, the business goals that you already had listed in that aforementioned video about your business year. You want to make sure that you include family tasks and dates. You want to make sure you include your couples dates, maybe a certain day of the week, every couple of weeks that you all can go out. And if you hurry up and put those on the calendar now, then you're setting yourself for success in your relationship later on. And then after that, you want to make sure that you include any home redecoration. For instance, I'm taking down all of my Christmas decorations from Christmas time, and had I prior planned that, they probably would have already been down before New Year's like I normally do. But honestly, you guys, I just want to enjoy them. So, you know, whatever. But you want to include things like that, maybe setting up your fall decorations, putting up your Christmas tree, taking down your Christmas tree, putting in your spring decorations, making your house look summery and flowy. Maybe you want to add greenery. What times of year do you plan to do these? And they don't necessarily have to be exact, and these are movable types of appointments, but you want to make sure that you've done it. Speaking of movable appointments, the very next thing that you want to do is you want to include your health and fitness goals. So you want to add in workouts and classes that you would attend for workouts, and just go on and put those on the calendar. And if you do all of this now, then you won't have to worry about doing it later. So the next thing that you want to do is you want to go on and put your responsibilities into the calendar. This can include your community, your church, volunteering, friends, extracurricular activities, teams, and etc. A lot of times you have these about a month ahead, at least a couple of weeks ahead, and if sometimes you might have them a season ahead or a year ahead. If you do have them that far ahead, then just go on and plug them on into the calendar. So the last tip that I have for you all is to save this in your Google Calendar, okay? Save your plans in your Google Calendar. I like to write things on paper first, but honestly, that's not as efficient, but for me, it just helps me creatively. So I like to write things on that and then transfer, but I always transfer, because I've learned that if I don't, something will happen to that paper, and God forbid you spend all of that time planning out your entire year, planning out your entire business year on the other video that I mentioned, and then putting those things together only to lose the paper get wet, the ink mess up, something crazy happening to that paper, you run over it, your dog eats it, whatever, and then your entire year plans are gone. So make sure you save that in your Google Calendar, and then that way you can share it with your spouse. You can link your two calendars, your business and your personal, and then you don't have to worry about things happening to just destroy your entire planning. So that is all that I have for you guys. Thank you guys so much for staying to the end. It's very important that you watch the videos of the YouTube channels that you support all the way to the end, or at least like 90% of the videos, because it really helps the algorithm. First and foremost. Second of all, it's also very important that you like this video, that you comment down below and let me know what is going to be your word for your year. And if you had a word for last year, let me know what that was too and how successful you were with it. I would love to see those, and I would love to chat with you all down in the comments. Make sure you share this, like, comment, and subscribe. And I really appreciate you guys and your support. I really hope all of my videos are helping you all. I put in a lot of hard work to make sure that you guys are getting 2 to 3 videos every week, Mondays, Wednesdays, and most Saturdays. So thank y'all for tuning in. This is your girl Cordnie Ellese, and I look forward to chatting with y'all and seeing you in the next video. Ciao!